Follow Llama Gel Nailer Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you this adorable little thermal llama design. Now this isn't one that is super duper Christmassy, it is just ever so slightly Christmassy, and if you don't want it to have any Christmas feelings at all, you could easily get rid of it because only one nail has like a Christmas feel and it just says Follow Llama. Otherwise, there is nothing on it that goes, hey, that's a Christmas design. It's a winter design, that's for sure. I mean, it's got snowflakes on it and the little llama is wearing a scarf. But other than that, it doesn't really have that Christmas vibe. So I like to make a video like that, throw that one in every once in a while. So that's what this one is. I am loving this. The thermal polish that I'm using is incredible. It changes color so... The color difference is just so vast that you can really tell and it looks amazing. And a lot of times my nails actually look like they're a gradient, which is cool because, you know, you don't even have to do it. It just does it on its own. So I hope you guys like this and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. So this is the gel polish that I'm using as the color for my nails, and it is a thermal polish, which is so cool. And it's actually very, very thermal. So it's dark purple and then a pretty bright pink. So the different colors are it's a pretty drastic change. So when I'm applying it, I apply 2 coats of it to all of my nails, and I feel like the brush is a little bit big for my liking. And you can see a little bit of the color change there just from being in the lamp. And the color, you really needed to apply 2 like medium to thick coats to get it to be opaque in 2 coats. But if you do that, it stayed in place really well, so there was no flooding. So I mean, it works to do 2 thicker coats, but then it will be opaque. Otherwise, you probably are going to need to do 3 if you do thin coats. On my ring nail, then I applied a layer of matte top coat, and then I cured that, and now on my ring nail, I'm going to start painting my llama with white. So I added first just kind of like the shape of his head, and then his neck going down, and then 2 little ears sticking up. And then with light pink, I'm going to be adding his scarf going across. So I wanted these to be winter nails, not necessarily like a very Christmassy, except for the Follow. That's where it gets Christmassy. But otherwise, I want it to stay a little more wintry. And if you don't want it to be Christmas, then you could put a second llama on your thumb and not do the Follow. So then with gold paint, I'm going to be doing his eyelids, his cheeks there, the area around his mouth, and then his 2 nostrils that kind of go up, and they go almost right up between his eyes. I'm going to touch up his eyelids that got a little bit too big with some white paint, just a little bit. I'm looking at them thinking, did that one need it too? Just fix them up a little bit with the white. And then I'm going to be with black paint, adding his eyes themselves, 2 little eyeballs. I'm going to be adding little spots in his ears for the insides of his ears with that black as well. And then a couple outlines. I didn't really want to overdo the outlines, just a couple. So basically his ears from his head and then under his chin. And I'm also going to be adding his nostrils and then his mouth. So he's got his mouth is open. I feel like he's saying something. So his mouth is open. And then I also wanted to outline his scarf. So I did that with very thin black lines just to keep them kind of on the, I don't know, I wanted the outlines to not seem super intrusive. I wanted the design to, since it's so bright and the background is so dark, you don't really need too many outlines. So now on my thumb with the light pink paint, I'm painting the fa-la-la-la. So I did the fa-la, 2 of them, on the first line, So there we go. So this is pretty easy since it's only 4 letters. You can kind of make them a little bit bigger, but bear in mind you also have to have room for 3 rows of letters. So don't make them too big that you don't have space to write llama underneath it. So I did this with light pink, and then in a moment when I start painting the llama, I did that with white, just so it would kind of stand out a little bit more. So now I'm going to be doing that, and I started with the middle A, or the A that's in the middle of the word. There's only 2 of them, so there's not really a middle A, but the first A, and then add the M next to that, and then the last A on the side. If you start with the center letter, you have a better chance of having your word be centered in general, and then add the L and the other L on the other side of that. And since my nails are pointy right now, I had a little bit of a space at the tip of my nail. You may or may not have that, and I decided to add just a little snowflake to fill in that gap. So now on my middle and pinky nail, I'm going to be continuing that snowflake theme with a couple more of them, and I did 2 of them that were on each nail. So 2 of them on my middle nail and 2 of them on my pinky. And I did a bigger one and a smaller one. On my middle nail, the bigger one is pink, and the bigger one is white and the smaller one is pink. On my pinky nail, the bigger one is pink and the smaller one is white. So I just kind of wanted, usually I paint so many snowflakes at work. Probably, I don't know, 2 dozen a day sometimes, because everyone wants snowflakes this time of year. that it gets to the point where it's like I can't even think of doing another snowflake design because they're all the same. So I decided that when I thought snowflakes would go with this one, I wanted it to be different, so I decided I would make one that was pink, and I love it. And I have a feeling that when I go to work tomorrow, I'm going to have all kinds of people that are like, oh, that's so cool having a colored snowflake like that, one that's not just white, and I'm probably going to have a lot of light pink snowflakes to paint. But I thought it looked really cool, and I really liked having the one that was a different color. I thought that just made the design so much more interesting than if they were white. And then with a couple pink dots and then a couple white dots, I filled in the little spaces between them, just kind of fill in the gaps so it didn't look so empty. And then on my index nail, I decided to add chevron lines. I always, whenever I think of a scarf, as you can see in my intro and at the end of the video, that my little zebra Zeta has on a scarf, and it's got little chevron stripes on it. For some reason, chevron stripes seem to just make me think scarf. I don't know what it is. This design may also make you think Easter egg, because I had that moment as well. So if you're watching this video not anywhere near the winter time and you're thinking, oh, that'd be cute for Easter, definitely go for it. It would work. But for me, I always associate chevron stripes with scarves. And since my little llama had a scarf on, I decided that I would kind of continue that scarf theme on the snail with the stripes. So I did 2 full rows and then kind of a partial row of thicker stripes in pink. So the reason that top one is a partial row is because it doesn't actually show both sides of it, because it's right at the cuticle. It just kind of gets filled in up there. And so I've got my two rows of pink, or my 3 rows of pink, I should say. And then between those, I'm going to take a thinner brush and white paint and add a much thinner row of white stripes. I didn't want my stripes to all be the same thickness, so I kind of wanted to keep them different. So I decided that the white one should be significantly thinner and just kind of sneaking in between those pink stripes. Just like that. And like I said, if this makes you think Easter egg, definitely do this for Easter. Save this video somewhere and keep that in mind. And then I'm going to be applying a layer of gel top coat onto the middle, pinky, and thumbnails, the nails that basically every other one. And then I'm going to be applying that glossy gel top coat on top of the llama. So I just have a little brush and I'll be applying it over the llama. So on the llama and the scarf nail, it's going to have sort of that matte background with a glossy highlight on it. So my llama gets glossy, and then I'm going to be applying it over all of those chevron stripes, which does take a little bit of time, but it makes your nail kind of textured, so you can, if you run your finger over the top of it, you can feel all those stripes, which I think is so cool. I love it whenever I have that. I did a set on a client, and she had just a glitter stripe down the center of her nail that was shiny, and then the rest of her nail was matte, and just the way that felt, she was like, oh, that's so cool. It's kind of the same concept, because it's got that little bit of thickness to it from the gel top coat, so you can feel it. It feels really, I don't know, feels really cool. So I hope you guys like this design. I have so much fun with it. I love the color change. The essence of the design is so much different when they're pink, because everything on them is pink than if they've got that purple on it. So it's just, I've been loving it, and I've been staring at my nails all day. It's one of my favorites, so I hope you guys like it too. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!